Drip, drip, drip. The sound was maddening. A single drop of water falling from the ceiling of his burrow, right onto his head. Pip's roof was leaking. No problem, he thought. I'm rich now. He confidently went to Barnaby the Beaver, the best builder in the forest. Barnaby fixed the leak in an hour. That'll be 50 seeds, the beaver said. Pip reached into his seed pouch, and his heart stopped. It was empty, completely empty. How could this be? How could Pip, the owner of a thriving business empire, not afford to fix a simple leak? To understand, we must rewind just a few weeks. After mastering the market, Pip's river of wealth had begun to flow. Every month, a cart of berries, barrels of honey, and baskets of acorns would arrive. He felt invincible. He had so much income, he stopped counting. He simply spent. He saw a fancy new wheelbarrow, he bought it. He saw a golden watering can, he bought it. He started buying the most expensive snacks, treating his friends, throwing lavish parties. He believed that since the river of wealth was flowing, it would never run dry. But he never saw where the river was actually going. He had income, but he had no plan. And a river with no direction simply drains into the swamp. Which brings us back to the leak, the real one. I can't pay you right now, Pip mumbled, his face red with embarrassment. Barnaby just sighed and shook his head. Humiliated, Pip went to the one person he knew would have the answer. I don't understand, Pip confessed. I have assets, I have income, but I have no seeds. Where did it all go? The wise badger looked at Pip kindly. You have built a powerful engine, Pip, but you have no steering wheel. An engine without a steering wheel doesn't take you to your destination. It just crashes. You need a plan for your seeds, Pip. You need a budget. Pip shuddered. A budget? Isn't that boring? A list of all the things I can't have? No, the badger chuckled. That is the biggest misunderstanding in all of finance. A budget doesn't tell you what you can't do. A budget gives you permission to do what you truly want to do. It's not a cage, it's a map. The badger brought out 3 empty glass jars. On the first, he wrote, needs. This is for the things you must have to survive. Your food, your burrow repairs. About 50% of your income goes here. On the second, he wrote, wants. This is for the fun stuff, the fancy watering cans, the parties. No more than 30% goes here. And on the third, the most important jar, he wrote, savings and investing. This is for your future. At least 20% of every seed you earn goes here first, before anything else. This is your map. Now follow it. Pip went home and did exactly as he was told. The next time his river of wealth arrived, he didn't just throw it in one big pile. He sat down and carefully divided it. 50% into the needs jar, 30% into the wants jar, and the first 20% into the savings and investing jar. The next day, the sly fox came by with a new shiny object. Pip looked at the object. He then looked at his wants jar. It was almost empty for the month. No, thank you, Pip said calmly. For the first time, saying no didn't feel like a restriction. It felt like a choice. It felt like power. Then he took his needs jar and went to the beaver. He paid Barnaby in full for the roof repair. It felt good to pay his bills on time. Finally, he took his savings and investing jar. He used it to buy a new, promising sapling for his investment garden. Pip had finally tamed his river of wealth. He was no longer a passenger on a crashing train. He was the conductor. He understood his income. He controlled his spending, and he was purposefully building his future. But as he looked at the bill from Barnaby, a new question appeared. Paying for the roof was a debt. Investing in his business was also a kind of debt. But one felt good, and the other felt bad. What was the difference? He was about to learn one of the biggest secrets of the wealthy. Not all debt is created equal. Subscribe to Gopher Business to learn about the difference between good debt and bad debt.